Hello, everybody. We are here today to talk about the difference between the temporomandibular joint, the TMJ articulation, and the other articulations of the body. What is the basically difference between the TMJ and any other joint in our body? So this is usually a common question that I receive. And some people try to treat the TMJ as they usually treat any other joint in the body. But honestly, we call them joints. Okay, all of them are joints. But the functionality in the way they are loaded is completely different. Okay, this is why I put here in the screen the TMJ here on the left and the shoulder joint on the right side. So basically, I took these videos from the internet. Okay, so basically, what is the difference? So if I compare, so one very important thing is that the TMJ is a connection between complex bone, which is the mandible, and which will connect to the temporal bone in the skull. So the T of TMJ is the temporal bone. So temporal bone belongs to the skull, okay? And the M, mandibular, is the mandible, okay? So those two bones, if we don't have the joint and don't have ligaments and muscles attached, it will fall on the floor. So this is what happens when we die. Okay, when we die, we end up as only bones. Okay, and the mandible is totally loose. Okay, on the floor. So to connect those bones to work together, we need this joint. Okay, so in the joint between those two bones happens through the condyle on the mandible to the glenoid fossa on temporal bone. Okay, so we have convex and concave surfaces in where we have attached, they will catch each other, but stay there by a very complex system of ligaments, very complex systems of capsula and muscles. Okay, all those things together not only keep the mandible in position, but also are responsible for the mobility, for the movement of the mandible in space. The TMJ is possible to make two very interesting movements. The TMJ can rotate. Okay, so it means the condyle of the condyle of the mandibular bone can rotate inside the joint under the temporal bone. Okay, and also when we open wide or when we make the mandible move forward, what happens inside here that the condyle translate on top of this glenoid surface. This is a very complex joint because we have two movements happening always simultaneously. I will never happen any of those alone, okay? So to have rotation, I will necessarily translate. I can never have rotation isolated unless I restrict the movement with my hand, okay? In a normal function, I will always have translation and rotation happening together. And this is the only articulation, on the big articulations we have in our body that is able to do translation and rotation together. The shoulder, which is another joint in our body, pretty similar to the knee or the hip, okay? All those other articulations, they are basically rotatory articulations. They are not able to translate. And why? Because I don't need to translate my arm. So my arm is able basically to rotate. If I move my arm in the shoulder here, I have rotation, movement of the condyle of the bone here, okay, and the clavicula, okay? This system is also linked with a set of ligaments, muscles, capsula, so a joint. Both are joints, but the movements they do are completely different and completely disconnected from each other. So let's say something like that in terms of physiology. So if I talk about the movement and the function, we have two ways to limitate the movement and also to happen the movement. So let's think about that. In the shoulder, when I stretch my arm and I try to move my arm backward, I have a limit. So I cannot go more. And who imposes this limit? It's the ligament. The muscles are making the movement under my brain control. Okay, my brain says, muscle, move, okay? Contract certain muscles, release some others. So this way I am able to make this movement and I have a rotation this way inside my shoulder. When I want to move back, it's the opposite. So some other sets of muscles will release, some other sets of muscles will contract to make this movement happen, but always being limited by the ligaments, okay? Same thing happened here, okay? For example, when I move my arm like this, I cannot move more because there's something limiting me, which is in this moment here, mechanical limitation between my muscles, okay? So my muscles impede my arm to come more and more and more. I can't because I have a mechanical limitation here. It's not really a ligamentary limitation, but when I stretch, I have ligament limitation. In the mouse is the same thing, okay? So when I want to open, I cannot open more. Even if I want and push with my fingers, I cannot. And this is dictated by the ligament. It's the same thing in the shoulder. So the ligament limits my opening. But when I close, who limits the amount of closing are the teeth. Okay? So we have a structure here working as the muscles when I move my arms inside the mouth. So it means that when I want to close, this process of closing, depending a lot in the height or position of the teeth inside the occlusal system. So certain teeth can be in certain position in where I will start to close and I stop. And I finish with an open bite, for example, and I cannot close more, even if I want, because teeth are very, very strong structure. It's the strongest structure in our body, is the enamel, okay, on the teeth. So this way, the TMJ plays a completely different role in the system, being translation and rotation simultaneously together, and the other ones basically make only rotation. And to be worse, being the mandible like a horseshoe shape, I have two TMJs, left and right, connected. So it means that every movement that happens here will have a consequential movement onto the other side. If I move my mandible to my left side, this one translate, orbit, okay? Orbit in the space, but this one just rotate. But rotate, it not stay quiet, okay? It's not stay, stop it, okay? When I open, is a symmetric movement. I have both moving together. When I move forward, I have translation also both moving together. When I make side movement, I have asymmetric movement. This one translate and this one rotate. So this way are the movements of the mandible through the joint that the other joints are not able to do. So this situation makes the TMJ a very, very complex system. It's not simple to analyze and to study the TMJ problems, what we call TMDs, okay? So those problems in the joint of the TMJ must be very deep analyzed. It's not simple and not easy to give a diagnosis on TMJ problems just looking or just taking x-ray or just observing the patient in your office clinically. So I need a lot of information to come to a diagnosis and propose certain treatment plan. Okay? And why? Because I am dealing with a very, very complex system. A very complex system, joint on the left and right side working synergistically. They work synergistically. One side must cooperate to the other. If one side is locked or in trouble, the other side will be also in trouble. So in certain amount, more or less here and there, but certainly will be in trouble. So basically, those are the difference between the TMJ and other joints in the body. And this is very, very important to understand when we look for a treatment of your TMJ. No matter what kind of problem in your joint TMJ, you need someone who can really understand the complexity of this system to propose you a deep, comprehensive, very comprehensive diagnostic system in order to deliver you ideal and very on the spot treatment. Okay? Hope I help you guys to understand a little bit more about the difference between TMJ and the other joints. Follow me. We will constantly place videos here, both in English and also Portuguese, maybe sometimes Spanish. But the good thing of the YouTube that you have the chance to press the button here and translate automatically with caption. And you can listen to my Portuguese videos, but also read what I'm saying in English. I test already, and the translation is very nice. Especially from Portuguese into English, it works super good. So if you see a video I'm doing in Portuguese, you can press in English. You have a very, very nice translation. And don't forget, I will keep posting videos, hopefully more interesting, more and more interesting, but I need your help. And what kind of help? The only thing I need is you guys just press like here, comment something if you enjoy or not this kind of video, and suggest maybe something or ask questions. I am open. And subscribe to my channel, hitting here the little bell. So when you hit the little bell, it means you will subscribe to my YouTube channel and you will receive all my new videos information in your email, for example. Okay, so you can be updated with all my new uploads. Join us, keep going, and see you next video.